Good evening and welcome to the Chrissy B Show. Now, although we're leading up to Christmas, there are many people who love to do something different and choose to actually go abroad. So today we'll talk about spending Christmas overseas, and we have a guest on who will be speaking about great options for Christmas breaks and what you can do to save on holidays next year as well. And also Jane Wrafter is here to demonstrate some fitness routines that are easy to incorporate while on your holiday. Yes, there are people that stay fit while they're abroad. They don't just stuff their faces like I would normally. Although I'm quite active as well. But let's first introduce our first guest, which is travel journalist Linsey McNeill. Good evening, Linsey.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Okay, so some people, do love to spend Christmas over here because it is nice over here at Christmas time, isn't it? Sort of
with family and friends.
Yeah, family, friends. Even I think even the weather's quite nice when it's cold and nippy outside.
Yeah,
and
it feels really Christmassy
at home and stuff. So it is nice, and obviously the lights and everything. But some people they're not into that, or they want to do something different.
Yeah.
So I know you deal with sort of finding, you write about places that are good to visit at Christmas time. Can you tell us about some of the places that you think will be good?
Yeah, well, it really depends what you want. But if you want a bit of winter sun, then probably look to the Canary Islands. That's the closest place where you'll get really warm weather at this time of year. But the place that's offering really good value at this time is the Red Sea resorts. So looking at Sharm el Sheikh and Hurghada. And there you would probably get a good all-inclusive 4-star hotel for the same price as you'd pay for a 3-star half board in the Canaries.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
It's really good value at the moment. I mean, you've had a bit of trouble in Egypt recently, so people are a bit wary about going there, and that's brought the prices down. But they've never had any trouble on the Red Sea resorts, so it should be perfectly safe.
Okay.
So it's where you're going to get the bargains at the moment. If you want to go a bit further afield, Dubai is good value. There's plenty of seats going out to Dubai, not just from London, but from regional airports as well. And then, of course, you've always got the Caribbean, but it's going to be more expensive.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And what other tips can you give our viewers about winter holidays this
Well,
time of year?
I would say that if you're going to go away, you need to get your skates on to book fairly quickly, because you're not going to get much that's still available. And the prices are going to be quite high. But a good tip for saving money is to fly on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, because you save about £200. People don't generally want to fly there. So
That's a lot of money, isn't it?
It is a lot of money. It's a big saving. It's a lot towards the cost of your holiday. So if you don't mind, being on a plane on Christmas Day, if you're not that bothered, then you might as well go then, rather than say on the 21st of December when the prices will be at their highest, because that's when most people want to get away, because that's, when they can take time off work, they don't need to bother going in on Christmas Eve, they'll just go on that Friday.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a date, isn't it? I mean, if you really want to travel and you are low on cash, I mean, you can always celebrate Christmas the day after you arrive or something like that, or even the day before you leave with your family or something.
Yeah, and actually, if you've got a family and you're all travelling together, you could save nearly £1,000 probably by going on Christmas Day.
That's so true. Do they just I don't know if you know this, but do they actually serve Christmas?
Some of them do. You can't get away from that. No, some of them do. Yeah, some of the airlines like Virgin, they'll still do a little Christmas. Yes, a little bit of Christmas pudding, and the staff dress up, and they make it quite jolly. Actually, it's probably quite a good atmosphere. Sometimes they have Christmas sing-along, that sort of thing, depending on who you're flying with.
I mean, even if you don't want to go abroad, you just want to spend the Christmas day on a plane, you can just
go there and back.
Anywhere, so it's quite interesting.
Yeah, of course, it's a bit annoying if you want to get away from Christmas. If you don't want all of that and you're still there on the plane and they're singing Christmas carols.
Well, that's a great tip though, saving like £200. Now, what about planning next summer's holiday as well? Because I know you said through some stuff to say that it's actually quite good to plan now.
It is. I mean, it seems crazy, but on Christmas Day they'll start the holiday sale, so we'll start to see the ads coming through on Christmas Day for next summer. Yeah, on Christmas Day for summer 2013.
People don't tend to kind of...
Well, it's amazing. People will go online. Last year, a lot of people went online and booked on Christmas Day, and certainly by Boxing Day, they're well into it. So they're probably thinking, they've had enough of the family, they've had enough of Christmas.
Well, I suppose it's on the website,
Yeah, it's all online. Yeah, so the sales will start then. And if you've got a family and you're locked into school holidays, you do need to plan that far ahead, really, because now's when you're going to get the deals. You're going to get the free child places, which sell out very, very quickly. So if you don't need to travel during the school holidays, it's not so essential to book this far in advance. You'll probably get a good deal late on. But if you've got specific dates when you need to travel, then you do need to be thinking about booking now. Probably look towards the last week of August. If you're looking to save money, that's the cheapest time during the school holidays to travel. But if you haven't got kids, then June will be cheaper than July, October will be cheaper than sort of early September.
Okay. And for those that are planning to travel over Christmas and maybe even next year, do you have any packing tips? Because this is, I know it sounds a bit obvious, but there are some tips that you'd like to share as well.
Well, having lost my luggage recently on a trip, I would I would say do take essentials with you in your hand luggage, you know, something for overnight.
Did you get it back?
I did get it back eventually, yeah. But it's when you're connecting, when you've got a connecting flight, that's when your luggage is most likely to go missing, and it does happen quite a lot. So take what you need for overnight in your hand luggage, but just be careful with the liquids, because you can't take anything in a container of more than 100 ml. So make sure you haven't got any of that in your hand luggage, otherwise it might be taken off you at security. But you know, just a few bits and pieces I would take in my hand luggage.
I mean, as well, what my mum used to do when we used to travel when we were younger, she used to spread sort of the clothes out. So I always wanted my own suitcase for my clothes, and my sister wanted hers with her clothes, because it's just fun sort of packing and everything. But she used to actually mix up the clothes, so in case we did actually, with one of the suitcases went missed, at least we all had clothes.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
So she's quite clever, mummy.
Yeah,
she is.
She knew
that's
best.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about as well. I don't know, what was the term? Was it couch
surfing? Yeah,
that was new to me. I was like, oh, that's quite an interesting thing.
Yeah, that's a growing trend these days, and it's you don't pay for the holiday. There are websites where you hook up with people who've got a spare room or a spare sofa, as the name suggests, and they just offer to host you on your trip. So it's usually just 1 or 2 nights. You won't want to overstay your welcome, but then in return they probably travel and they get free accommodation somewhere, and it's just a way of saving money and also having a bit more of a local experience when you get somewhere. But I would say that if you're going to do that, particularly if you're a single woman and you're traveling on your own, then do your research. Be really sure you know who it is that you're going to be staying with. Maybe have a Skype with them beforehand. I wouldn't just pitch up at somebody's house and hope that everything would turn out okay. There have been a few horror stories, but then for every horror story there's probably thousands of people who've had a great time doing that, and it's of course completely free. But I haven't tried it, although I did do a home swap holiday this year, where we swapped our house in London for a house with a family in Reykjavik in Iceland. Oh, and
nice.
That worked really well, because we didn't have to pay for accommodation, and also you get a sort of a home from home. You know, it's equipped like your own home would be, and you've got more space than if you say you're all to cram into a little apartment.
What are the little rules about that though? Because you are going into someone's house and they're coming into your house. Do you have to set sort of certain rules about things, or?
The family we exchanged with were experienced. They'd done it several times before, so they kind of led us, and they just said things like, you know, we'll change the sheets for you, you change them for us, you provide towels, we'll provide towels, and then you just treat it like your own home and just leave it clean when you leave. I think everybody would expect you to do that. Definitely. And not eat everybody's food, but just you know, just have a bit of respect, really. And I think
they leaving the food as well and everything? Or
yes, just like going into your own home. There's food in the cupboards, and you just replace stuff that you use, or you leave a little note to say, you know, it's okay to use this, that, and the other. And but I think you have to be quite relaxed about it, and not just don't get too uptight about all the rules and what you should and shouldn't do, because most people just are quite happy to just kind of go with the flow. And I suppose when you build that relationship with that family, you can always do that again, and you're used to each other now, you can build up that trust. Yeah, then you've built up a sort of relationship, and it's realised I was a little bit sort of uptight about it, and I was stressing for a couple of weeks beforehand about how clean my house had to be, and you know, sort of.
Was that the first time you'd
I'd never done it before, and I thought, oh gosh, are people going to come in and worry about the house isn't, you know, clean enough? And I wasn't really bothered about the house I was going to. I was more worried about having these bouquet moments about, oh god, my house is so disgusting. And then we Skyped with them, and I could see that their house was really nice, but you know, it wasn't too pristine. And then I just relaxed and started shoving things under beds and thinking that they'll sort of live and let live, and it did work out really well. And
how did you actually find out about the family? Is it like certain?
There are lots and lots of websites where you're just home exchange websites that you can go on, and you list your property, and then you sort of look at other people's properties, and then you just email saying, would you like to swap?
Yeah, it's so nice. You just have to worry about the flight.
Yeah, you just pay for the flight, and everything else is sorted out. And as I say, you get something probably a lot bigger, a lot more spacious than you would be able to afford if you were to pay for it. You know, you'd end up in a little apartment or something. Okay,
now just back to the couch surfing. Did I get the right term this time?
Couch surfing, yeah.
Is that vetted in any way?
No, it isn't. As far as I'm aware, there's nobody's vetting. I think there might be some websites where they say that they'll do checks, but I'm not sure how they can check up on people, and it really is down to trust a lot of the time.
So you want to like advise, obviously, a young female to go, or any female to go on her own? Like to do something like that? No,
I'm sure a lot of women do, and if they're quite savvy, maybe they feel comfortable doing that. But I would just say be careful and just do your research if you're going to do that. And it's the same with home swaps. None of these things are regulated, so a lot of it is on trust. So you have to trust your instinct quite a lot as well.
Okay. Do you have any other tips for us, Linsey?
What sort of things?
For maybe other places that people can go to over Christmas.
Over Christmas, we've talked about Dubai, we've talked about the Caribbean. It might be tricky getting to the Caribbean, I should say, this Christmas, because Iberia, the Spanish airline, are threatening a strike, or their cabin crew are going on strike. Yes, that might put pressure on other airlines, so they might not have so many seats available, particularly to the Spanish Caribbean. So Cuba and Dominican Republic, which are normally the cheapest, might not have as much availability this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how about exchanging money and stuff? Where's the best place, do you think, to do things like that?
Well, I would always look online first, see what the best rate is online, because you'll always get a better deal online. But if you don't want to buy it on the internet, then I would take that rate just to your local bureau de change and just say, this is what I found online, will you match it? And they quite often do. Even the big high street,
really?
Yeah, even the travel agencies, they'll match the rate. Whatever you do, don't buy it at the airport when you leave. Don't leave it to last minute. No, you'll always get stuffed on the rate if you do that. You'll always get a lot less currency. So don't do that. Even if they offer this thing where you can get there's no fee when you want to exchange it when you come back if you've got any currency left over. It never works out good value. It's always better to look online and buy it ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Linsey, do you have any tips for a comfortable flight, how to make your flight better? Because some people, I mean, I love flying. I love the whole experience. When it's not too long, like, because whenever, like, for example, traveling to Cyprus just like 4.5 hours. So, you know, it's quite enjoyable. I get excited, you know, I love sort of the whole experience. I get a bit bored sometimes, but I just actually love the experience of flying. But for some people, it's quite a nightmare. They feel very uncomfortable. They feel nervous. So what kind of tips would you give
I don't
for
particularly
that?
like flying, actually. I think particularly long haul, but I would say be quite choosy about the airline you fly with if you can. Look and see what sort of leg room you're going to get, because that's what makes the big difference on a flight, is how much space you've got. So you can check, and usually for long haul flights, for longer flights, it's usually about 31 inches seat pitch, which is the measurement from the back of your seat to the back of the seat in front. But some airlines give you more than 31 inches, and even if it's just an extra couple or 2 or 3 inches, it can make a big difference. So see how much leg room you're going to get. Check in early online so you can choose your seat. You won't be able to buy an extra leg room. You won't be able to get an extra leg room seat because they sell those at a premium. But you can usually upgrade to that at the airport. So, for example, Virgin will charge you something like from £20 to get more leg room when you check in at the airport, or you can pay to upgrade to premium. Which I think is very nice.
Yeah,
quite
definitely.
A lot. Yeah, it is quite expensive. It's from about £150 one way to upgrade at the airport.
Well, if you're saving on accommodation because you're doing a house swap,
exactly.
Well.
And you do get a lot more for your money. You know, you get a bigger seat, you get more leg room, you get a better meal, and it's a really nice way to fly. It's a lot nicer than being sort of scrunched up. But it is expensive, and not everybody can do that. And usually I'm in economy, and I think just check in online and try and choose your seat. And maybe if you can afford that extra £20 or so for a bit of extra leg room. Yeah, to be by the emergency exit or at the bulkheads at the front, it makes a big difference.
Now, some people as well, they're a bit daunted by the security checks at airports. Is there a way that people can make that smoother as well?
Yeah. Well, first of all, don't worry about it, because it's obviously they're doing it.
If you're a criminal and you're going to do trying to do something.
But generally they're just there for your safety. Yeah. I mean, it can be hassling. You wonder why you're having to queue, but it really is a good thing. I think just remember that you've got to remove a lot of stuff, so you've got to take your coat off them, so be prepared for all of that. Make sure if you've got a laptop that you're carrying it in a separate case, so you don't have to rummage around in your bag, because you'll have to take that out to go through the x-ray machine. Make sure you haven't got liquids over 100 mils in your bag, and that's not 100 mils worth of liquid, that's the container mustn't contain more than 100 mils. It mustn't be more than that in terms of size. So don't have anything like that. Don't wear boots or high heels if you don't want to take them off, because they'll always make you take those off to go through the scanner. So low shoes are usually okay with that, but boots are a bit of a pain, aren't they?
They are, to
take those off. Yeah. And don't make any silly jokes about bombs in your bag or anything like that.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard someone got arrested because they just made a joke about having a bomb or drugs. I think, no, it was drugs, sorry. It was on Cyprus Airways, I think.
I think people do it when they get nervous. They make silly jokes, or they say, "Oh, I haven't got a gun in there," and then they do take it quite seriously. They do.
Sometimes they don't even get on the flight, do they? Because this particular gentleman, he missed the flight because he made a joke about having drugs in his bag. And it's just something that you would probably just do with friends, and you just got to be so careful.
Yeah, and as I say, people do it when they're nervous. So just stay calm. Stay cool. Yeah. Don't do any of that.
All right. All right. So great tips, Linsey. So you're going to stay with us because actually no, we've got Jane on next, who's going to be teaching us about some exercises that we can do abroad.
Fabulous.
And hopefully I'll be able to do some in my heels as well. And then you're going to also be on for the last part. We're going to be answering some questions from viewers as well.
Okay.
So join us then. And you join us after the break as well, and we're going to be back with Jane. So if you do want to email for a question, you can do so on chris@chrissybshow.tv. And if you want to give us a call, 020 7686 6300. See you in a bit. Welcome back. Now, there are actually people that when they go on holiday, they're very, very good and they do keep up with the fitness regime. But for others, it's a complete nightmare. Normally, on holiday, people tend to put on a bit of weight, especially if they're going back home to family and friends, and they'll just eat all the local food, their home-cooked food, and they will put on loads of weight. So how can this be avoidable? We've got Jane Wrafter on again, and she's going to be giving us some wonderful advice like she normally does. Good evening, Jane.
Hi, Chris.
Lovely to have you back.
Thank you. Lovely to be here too.
So you're quite disciplined, aren't you? And she was telling me off earlier because I haven't exercised yet this week.
I gave you a stern look.
She gave me one of her looks.
And when you gave me your excuse, I didn't believe it, did I? I didn't buy it.
It was an excuse. So you're a disciplined person. That's important, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? It's an interesting thing about being disciplined, because I think really what you need is to have a balance, right? So if you say to yourself, I'm going to keep fit on my holidays, I'm not going to let myself go over Christmas. You know, maybe you exercise already and you've got yourself to a certain standard, or maybe you haven't, but whatever. If you say, I'm not going to let myself go, I'm not going to put on the £5 that I put on every year, then you know, you need to find that balance and that discipline without not having fun. I mean, you still want to have fun, don't you, on holiday?
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think it's realistic to say, I'm not going to drink, I'm not going to have more than one roast potato. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
It's not going to be a holiday.
It's not going to happen, is it? So let yourself have fun, and maybe say to yourself, you know, I'm going to try and drink less alcohol, or maybe drink on less of the evenings that I'm out, reduce it a bit, keep an eye on it, and keep an eye on what you're eating. And with regard to the exercise, right, there's so many people, aren't there, that pack the trainers in the suitcase and then just take them out when they get home, and they haven't even been taken out. It's a waste of luggage weight.
Yes, true.
Or taking up space in your suitcase. So, you know, there are a lot of people who do that, and I think that's worse than saying, I'm not going to exercise while I'm away, I'm going to give myself a break, and then I'll go back to it when I get home. If you take your trainers and you're going to do it, set yourself a strategy. So if you're going away for a week, say, I'm going to work out twice. That's probably realistic, isn't it? You could probably do, even if it's 15 minutes, do a short workout, and then the next thing is, okay, I've decided I'm going away for a week, I'm going to do 2 workouts. When are you going to do them?
So and then slot them into
know when you're going to do it. Are you a morning person? Do it before breakfast, or if you're somewhere hot, maybe do it very early, or do it late before dinner, you know, you had your shower, or find a time that you're going to do it, and pick a day that you're going to do it, and tell your family, I'm doing this on this day, and then make it happen.
And get them involved as well. Maybe if they're not sort of family, if you are going back home to visit family, maybe they don't do anything, and it's like a fun way to bond as well, isn't it?
I think so. It's nice, you know, especially if it's outdoors and you're doing activities outdoors. I think you should be aware of what you want to achieve, because some of the things I'm going to show you tonight are good for people who work with weights in the gym.
Right.
So, you know, if you go to the gym a lot and you don't want to lose your muscle strength and your tone, then there are things you can do with other equipment, or even just using your body weight, which will just keep you ticking over. I mean, you don't need to improve your fitness on holiday, do you? You don't need to go. It's just a matter of getting somewhere near maintaining it, so that you are still strong when you come back. So it's not that huge leap to go back to the gym where you just feel like, I don't know how I'm going to go back because I haven't done it for so long. And also when you do go back after a break, you ache more, don't you? You know, you've had a bit of time off. And I think the worst thing is, you know, what we were just saying before, the people who pack the trainers and don't use them, it's a little bit depressing. So you get home and you think, oh,
I should have done.
I should have gone, I didn't do it. I'm absolutely rubbish. Oh, and then it's quite hard to go, yay, I'm going to go back to it. So don't depress yourself. If you know you ain't going to do it,
just don't
work really hard before and work really hard after. But, you know, if you take your trainers, use them. Or...
Well, a lot of resorts have gyms and but some obviously don't, so maybe people can go running or something as well.
Yeah, and you know, if you're staying somewhere that hasn't got a gym, it's worth going into other places, because some hotels will let you go in for a fee and use their gym.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's worth asking. And if you're in a place where, you know, we stayed in France once, surrounded by cauliflower fields. You know, you couldn't walk anywhere. So to go for a run, you had to drive somewhere.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's worth doing that, isn't it? Source a nice place to run. Maybe if you're on the coast, find a beach road or somewhere that's going to motivate you and make you really enjoy the run. Drive yourself there, have a little run, and drive back. It might sound a bit over the top, but if that's the thing that makes you do it, then it's worth doing, I think.
Definitely. So now, so for the people that say it's not practical to exercise on holiday, I can't take my equipment away with me. What show us some things that we can do then while we're away?
Okay, I've got some equipment that weighs nothing, but if you don't want to even get any equipment, what I always say to my clients when they're going on holiday is, look, if all else fails, try and do some walking, swimming, cycling or running, and do squats, press-ups and some form of sit-ups, because people can't remember a whole class. So even if you're in your hotel room or if you've gone away, I don't know, wherever you're staying, find a place and you can do, anyone can do press-ups, sit-ups and squats. You're getting your upper body, your lower body and your abs. It's really easy to remember. Set yourself a target, you know, if you're fit, say I'm going to do 50 of each, not necessarily all at once. Do them in like 10s or 15s.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. What's sort of ideal sort of number of reps and stuff to do if you are sort of an effective, well, you want it to be quick, but also you want it to be effective, not just like you just do it for the sake of doing it and then it has no effect whatsoever.
I would say, I mean, it does vary for everyone, you know, because the thing with that is your technique's more important. So if I say 15 as an average and someone's quite weak, by the time they've got to 11, they're losing the technique. So as long as you've got good technique, 15 to 20 at a time. But if you're really fit...
At a time, so not like, how many sets though?
Oh, I would say if you're doing 15 or 20 at a time, try and do it 3 times. So you know, you want to be doing like, it depends how fit you are, but set yourself a target whereby you're challenged, but you're not losing your technique. So by the end of the last set, I'll show you. You know, you should be really feeling it. Really easy to remember, press up, sit up, squats. And with the equipment I've got, I have got some workout videos on YouTube actually. I've got quite a few 10-minute workout videos. And the one with the Dynaband, which I'm going to show you, if you go into YouTube and put JCW Fitness Dynabands, this is the Dynaband, which I'm going to show you. I've got a little 10-minute workout, so if you've got a smartphone, you can get it on your phone. I'll have a look on the way or something.
So let's go for some stuff?
Yeah,
all right.
sure.
I don't know how much I'll be able to get involved with because I have got heels on.
I noticed you deliberately put your heels on.
Well, I need to get some trendy workout gear for TV because I don't have any, you know. It's like, she's looking at me the look. She's giving me the look again.
Do you think it's safe? Make you do stuff in your... I'll catch you if you fall.
All right, a bit wobbly. Okay.
So if you hold this, I'll explain how this works. Have you worked with these, Chrissy, before?
No, I haven't, no.
These are called Dynabands, D-Y-N-A, and they're really cheap. They vary, but if you look on Amazon, they're less than £10 for one. They work like weights. They provide resistance for your muscles. So if I just show you one exercise now.
Will this count as one of my workouts this week? Or do I have to... Okay, right. I won't say anything. Sorry.
Maybe if you join in the whole thing. Right. Pull the band to your chest and then squeeze your shoulder blades together and draw your shoulders down your back. Can you feel it?
I can definitely feel that,
Yeah, and then pull back. So what it does, it stretches out your chest, but it works your shoulders and your upper back. And what you've got to make sure is that you're not like this.
Okay, am I like that?
If you make sure, if you try and imagine you're pulling your shoulder blades into your back pockets and soften your knees a bit. See, it's not ideal in here. Tuck your bum underneath, that's it. Now when you tuck your bum under, it stops you arching your back.
Okay.
So your bum's underneath. Right, if we just keep going, and if you imagine someone really heavy standing on your shoulder, Can you feel it working your shoulders here?
I really can.
So your shoulders don't know the difference between a band and weight, you see. Really? Now, if you wanted to be really clever, you could add squats.
Let me try and do a squat holding, okay.
That's not bad and quite
My first
impressive.
squat in heels ever.
That's quite impressive, that is.
Thank you.
You could do lunges.
I don't think I can do that. I'll probably lose my balance.
No, we don't want you to fall over.
I can't remember doing this.
So, so you can do lunges. And remember, with a lunge, it's working your front leg. So your weight's here.
Oh.
Not here. Your weight's here. It's like doing this.
Yeah.
And your back leg is only for balance. But it's really nice to combine. So if you don't want to spend ages doing it, so you might want to get a little bit of lower body. While you're doing your upper body, you can do things like this.
Right. This is so good because look, it doesn't hardly weighs anything. It doesn't weigh anything.
Weighs nothing.
And that's so easy just to pack away.
Yeah.
And take with you. It doesn't take up any space whatsoever.
No space at all. You could even find other uses for it, I'm sure. I'll tie things up with it. Look, you can do loads of things. I'll just show you a few things quickly. Okay. So you can actually do this with both sides. This is going to work your shoulders.
Oh, that's so cool.
So you know people who work with weights do an upright row with the weights really in the hands?
My producer's saying, don't do it, don't do it. I want to do it. Let me just try. Hang on. I'm going to make a hole in it. Okay. Okay.
We might let you count this as you work out. Feel that in your shoulders?
Yeah, definitely.
Now that feels exactly like you've got weights in your hands, doesn't it?
It might be quite painful if I let go, wouldn't it? Smack you on the leg or something.
It can be dangerous when they ping. There's lots more you can do. If you make your band a little bit longer, you can do front raises and side raises, all for the shoulders.
Really
a little bit of softness in the elbows. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually feels really good. And then the tighter you have the band, the harder it is. So, and there's loads. I'm going to show you some more on the mat in a minute. But these are really good.
It's really good. You can really, really
feel it. It's great. I'm going to show you a couple of exercises that combine working your tummy with working your arms. So it's a great time saver. So shall I hop down on the mat?
I'm not going to do this one.
No.
I'll just watch you.
I only brought one mat. That was my mistake.
You see, you weren't prepared, Jane. It wasn't my fault.
Next time I'll definitely bring two. I'm spare trainers.
All right, okay. Next time, deal. I'll bring my fitness gear. I'll buy some.
100%. All right. I'll hold you to that. So I've got the band wrapped around my feet with my toes pointing forwards because, as you said, if it pings off, you know,
hit you in the face.
take your eye out. So I'm going to roll down like this, halfway to the floor, like that. So I am, in effect, in a sit-up position. You know when you do sit-ups on the floor? So that's working here all the time. I'm going to bring my elbows into my waist. Look, bicep curls.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's really good.
So you're working both.
Yeah. So you could do maybe sets of 10, come up, have a little rest, do another set of 10. I mean, really, there's no magic number. What you should do is do enough until your voice starts to shake, like mine's going to start.
Just saying that. She's just doing this exercise, just holding off the floor. Most people will be shaking by now. She's like talking normally, like there's nothing going on.
The voice is starting to shake is a good sign that I'm working really hard. And I'm starting to feel hot, which is what you want as well. And I can feel this in my tummy.
Does this work the core as well?
Yeah,
it does,
It's working here all the time.
Okay.
So I've not leaned back with my back arched. You round out so that you're nice and tight here. I'll show you another good one for the backs of the arms.
Okay.
So you lean forwards.
Oh, we need those, right?
Lean forwards. I'm going to draw the shoulders down and the elbows in and look, push back. And again, you know, if you work with weights, you push the weight back. It's exactly the same.
This is good space saver for the home as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't need all your weights and...
I use these in classes all the time. Use them in class for lots of things. And you can use them for a whole roll down. If I just give myself a bit of space here, if I roll all the way down and all the way up, that's going to work my tummy. Some people find it hard to do it without a band. This is a Pilates exercise because they go like that. Oh. Right? So the band helps you.
I've been practicing those at home. I'm quite good at those.
Good.
Now. Yeah.
If you had your trainers on, I would ask you to show me. I'll show you another couple for the upper body and the shoulders with the band. Okay. So if you sit really tall for this one and draw the shoulders down, I mean, in Pilates, great for posture. We do lots of work on drawing the shoulders down. So you bring your elbows into the back of the waist. Can you see how that draws my shoulders back?
Yeah.
It's lovely, and it strengthens the muscles around the back of the shoulder and in the upper back as well. And then you can do it lifting it up, just works your shoulders in a different way. And I can really feel this. And it's just as good as weights. I promise you it is. It's really good.
That's amazing,
so elbows up or elbows down, all that works. I've also got a ball that I was going to show you, Chrissy. Thank you. I mean, there's lots more you can do with the band. If we've got time, I can show you some more.
Okay.
This is called a bender ball, or sometimes they're called small Pilates balls, and these are really cheap as well. They're on Amazon, and it's got a little stopper in, so you can deflate it and inflate it, and there's loads you can do on these. These are really good as well.
Maybe you can show us this one after the break, because we need to go to a quick break.
Okay.
Lindsay's looking at me like, are you going to get me to do this as well? And we can maybe demonstrate a few more exercises and we can talk more. You can stay there, don't worry.
Okay.
It's all right. So we're going to go to a quick break, and afterwards Lindsay's going to join us again, and we're going to talk about maybe some places that you can go to that you can actually keep fitness holidays that you can go to as well. So join us after this. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show. Now, before the break, Jane started demonstrating some exercises that we can very easily do if we're on holiday, and she's going to show us a couple more moves as well. But if you want to ask any question, you can give us a call on 020 7686 6300, and you can also email on chris@chrissybshow.tv, and also Lindsay's back with us as well to answer any questions you may have about travel, because she is a travel journalist. So, ladies, let's start with you, Jane. Okay. You're going to show, because you were mentioning some exercises.
I was going to show you the ball, but you know what I was thinking? I said that people should have as a gold standard little formula the press-ups, the squats and the sit-ups. Shall I just show you how to do those safely and properly? So, press-ups, lots of women are afraid of press-ups. I think I've done these on your show before, haven't I? Because I love press-ups, and most women are filled with horror at the thought of them. But I'll show you an easy way of doing it. So I've got my weight behind my knees, hands a little bit wider than the shoulders, but down the back, and then you just drop your nose forwards. And if you've not got a lot of good upper body strength, that's the way to start. Don't do this. Okay, the nose goes forwards. It's better to do that than that. But as you get stronger, you can load more body weight into it. And then you might eventually feel like doing some full ones. So press-ups are definitely good, because they get your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, and if you load your body weight forwards, it gets your core as well. Squats are just brilliant for toning up your bum and your legs. So
even with no weight?
Even with no weight.
Just your own body weight.
Yeah. If you get nice and low, put your weight behind your heels, don't drop your knees forward. So your weight goes back, your back stays straight. So you don't come forwards like this. The head doesn't come down. Chest is lifted actually. And the weight goes back. So that's safe for the knee. We do lots of those. I mean, there's all sorts of things you can add. You know, you can add lifts like this, bringing in a bit more core. And I'll just show you the ball. If you do sit-ups on a ball, it makes it a lot harder than if you do it on the floor. Have you ever used these, Lindsay?
I haven't.
No?
I've never done a sit-up.
You've never done a sit-up?
This is all new to me. Show me one to me.
Okay, I'm going to show you how to do a sit-up with a ball or without. So what I've got is a little space here in my lower back that I'm going to press my lower back down into. Now that automatically engages me there. Even if I sit like this and do nothing else, that's going to strengthen my tummy quite well. But I'm going to just add a little bit of intensity and start to lift and lower off the ball. So I'm contracting these muscles,
and it doesn't hurt the back as well that way, does it?
No, it's really comfortable. As long as you've got the ball in the right place, so you can experiment with it and move it up and down. If you don't have a ball, there's loads of things you can do. I mean, if you put them here and squeeze, you can work your inner thighs, lift your legs up. And
that's something that, can you deflate that? So that's something that you can take away.
It's really easy to deflate. It comes with a little straw and a plug, you know, so there's loads you can do with this. And if you don't have a ball, just do some crunches, or maybe some scissors, you know, some basic abs. So you've got squats, press-ups and sit-ups. If you just do that, even 5 minutes before you
Yeah.
get in the shower or something.
That is great.
It's
Okay,
better
thank
than
you, Jane.
nothing, yeah.
All right, we've got a caller as well. Good evening. Are you still there? Oh, no. Are you still there? Oh, okay. Let's go to the emails first. Hopefully they'll call back as well. So, Amelia, have you got any questions for us by email? Maybe a travel question?
Yes, we do. We have here a question. We actually got a question here from Jane. Just came. It says, "I'm a very fit person, but when I travel, it seems as though all my hard work gets thrown out of the window. By the time I come back, I have put on some pounds. It's quite hard for me to keep fit when going on holiday, as I feel I won't have enough fun, especially if I'm going with friends and family."
Yeah, I think that links into what I was saying before, doesn't it, about balance? And I think the answer to that is cut yourself a bit of slack before you go on holiday and watch what you're eating and drinking, say for 3 or 4 weeks at least before you go away. Bank some sessions, whether it's that you jog or, you know, whatever it is you do, whether it's at the gym. Try and increase that before you go on holiday. And then when you're there, try and decide what you need to do. See, it all depends how fit you are, doesn't it? I mean, if you're some kind of supreme athlete who runs and trains every day and you go on holiday for 2 weeks and stop, it's all going to go to pot. I mean, say you train 3 times a week. I think you should aim to do at least 1 session a week on holiday and aim for 2. Yeah. So you've reduced what you're doing. You can still have a bit of fun, but just try and do something.
You can have fun and be fit as well. But then maybe ask tell us some places that we can actually do some fitness stuff as well in just a moment. I think we've got our caller back first, though. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Miguel.
Hi, Miguel.
About 3 years ago, I went to Washington, D.C., and I mean, I used to play football all the time, like every day. And the thing was, I had quite a problem whereby I would wake up very, very early and go sleep very, very late, and always eat before I sleep. And I had this problem of growing a pot belly. How do I get rid of that?
You had what problem, sorry?
A problem of growing a pot belly.
Pot belly?
Yes. How do I get rid of that?
You want a 6-pack, do you?
Do you want a 6-pack? Did you want a 6-pack?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'll play football every day, but when I went on holiday, it's like it totally messed up all in terms of my body system, my body structure.
So how long were you on holiday for?
I was there for 2 months and 2 weeks.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, see, that's quite a long time. Did you do any training while you were there?
I mean, I couldn't because I was out with friends and family, and all they wanted to do is just go out.
You see, I'm going to give
another
him
one
the
that
look.
makes excuses? Yeah. Give him the look.
I'm going to give you the look. Because I do understand the pressure just to go along with your friends and your family and, you know, let it all go. I think it takes an awful lot of strength to say, look, guys, I'm not going to be around for the next hour because I'm going for a run or I'm doing whatever I need to do. And it's a shame that you were so fit, wasn't it? And that you let that go. Are you training again now?
No, I wouldn't. Now I'm actually having the same trouble in terms of I wake up really, really early and I go to sleep really late, and I don't know the time. I don't have the time to exercise. When actually would be the best time for me to exercise? Would you say in the afternoon, or would you say
there isn't a best time? I promise you. It really depends on your body clock, when you feel strongest, and logistically when you can fit it in your life. If you do it at 3 a.m, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not ideal, but as long as you're doing it, I think you should just have a look at your... You know what I think? It sounds like you've lost your mojo. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, when I came back from holiday, it's like I lost in terms of my fitness levels. It was like totally destroyed. I mean, my manager was on my back.
Yeah. How old are you? Do you mind me asking?
22.
Right. It happens a lot, you know, with young people where they are fit, and then I guess that because you're older, you're going out more, you're going out with your friends, and there's a lot of other pressures, social life takes over. And you've probably lost your confidence with your fitness a little bit.
I mean, one thing I recognise is I was trying to I was forcing myself to get back in it, but it's like I was surpassing my exercise limits. That's what my manager was telling me. Because I was eager to get straight back into fitness.
I was going to say that to you, and I'll give you an example. I had a client who was one of my gold members. She used to come to loads of classes every week, and she disappeared off the radar. And it turns out that she'd been on holiday and she'd also fallen. And I emailed her and she told me what had happened. And she said, I feel really unfit. I said, okay, just come back once a week for a while. Come back once a week and then build it up to 2 and then, you know, gradually build up to where you were before. And I think it is hard. You've probably been to a training session, realised that you've lost your fitness, and you look in the mirror and you can see the difference. But I don't think you should sort of try and launch yourself straight back to that position within a week. Set yourself a goal that you will start training again. Can you still train with your football team?
No, not anymore.
So you need to find a replacement for that. Something to substitute. It doesn't have to be a gym. I mean, go jogging. I tell you what's really good for young guys, boxing clubs. There's loads of boxing clubs around. Where do you live?
North London, Finsbury Park.
Well, do you know what? My son is 14 and he goes to a boxing club which is somewhere around Wood Green, and there's loads of classes for the guys. Find something like that. Go swimming, go training, go and join a leisure centre and go to the gym, and just start going once a week, build it up to 2, and then, you know, in 3 months you'll be fit again.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Linsey, tell us about some fitness holidays or where you can actually go that you can keep fit. There's things that you can do.
At this time of year you can go skiing. I mean, it's fantastic, and there's loads of snow around. It's going to be a fantastic season, and that keeps you fit. I mean, it wouldn't get you fit. You should be fit before you go. That's one of the holidays where you're not going to put on loads of weight because you're going to be out skiing every day. And a big growing trend is sort of combining yoga and skiing. We're seeing a lot of that at the moment.
Yoga and skiing?
Yeah,
really?
you do a little bit of yoga in the morning and then ski in the afternoon, or the other way around. Yeah, it's a really nice combination actually, because then the yoga loosens you up for skiing, so you're less likely to have an injury or an accident. Yeah, but yoga holidays are very, very good. There's a company called Body and Soul Holidays, and they do all sorts of fitness trips, which are really nice. I mean, they're obviously very popular with women, but I think men go on them too.
It's nice to do that, even if you're not used to doing something, it's nice to do that just to be different, just to do something from the norm, like just being there laying on the beach all day and just getting fat.
And in a funny way, they can actually be more relaxing than, you know, sort of, if sometimes you get a bit fed up, don't you, when you go on holiday and you lie on a beach and there's not a lot going on. But if you're doing,
just laying there doing nothing.
Once you start to wind down, so sometimes these holidays where they're combining activities at the same time is really, really lovely way to spend your...
All right, let's see if we've got any more questions as well, Amelia.
We've got a question here for Linsey. Adele asks, when I travel, I don't tend to get travelling insurance. I was searching online about it and found out more, but I was not sure. What do you advise on this?
I would seriously advise everyone to take out travel insurance.
It's not a cost you should save on, is it?
No, and for the cover it gives you, it's not usually very expensive at all. The only times it is expensive is if you've got a pre-existing medical condition or you're getting on a bit, and then you do end up paying higher premiums. But generally, it's not expensive, it only costs a few quid, and you do need it. I mean, just imagine what would happen if you got sick when you were on holiday, or you had an injury and you had to be flown home. It costs a fortune. It's just not worth the risk. You really should take out insurance. And if you look online, there are loads of companies offering travel insurance. Just compare them, make sure you've got the sort of cover you need, definitely get medical cover. Sometimes if you've got private health insurance, you'll be covered for your medical bills, but you won't be covered for repatriation. So if you have an injury and you need to be flown home, then you still need to have some sort of travel insurance in place.
Of course, that would be a nightmare if you didn't have that, then you had to...
Oh yes, it could cost you thousands of pounds and you haven't got any option but to pay it. So it's definitely worth getting insurance. Don't over-insure. Don't buy an expensive policy that you don't need. For example, if you're going to Europe, you've got your E111 card. It might be called something else these days, but the card that gives you free NHS treatment effectively in European countries and also some other parts of the world, then you don't need a high level of medical insurance as well. But you do need that repatriation cover. And if you've got expensive belongings, then you also need to cover your bags. But there'll be a limit on how much they'll pay out if you lose your bags. So check that quite
So you can get that, if you travel often, you can just get that yearly travel insurance as well, can't you? You don't have to do it for each trip.
That's right. And it's a good idea to take out an annual policy just so you don't forget, just so it's always there. It's renewed every year. I mean, don't always necessarily renew with the same insurer because they won't give you the best deal. So do shop around. But I think annual policies work out to be really good value and it's peace of mind. So if you're going on more than 2 trips a year, I'd say definitely take out an annual policy.
I think we've got time for one more question.
Yes. We've got another question for Linsey. Carol asks, it's always hard in my family to decide where we can take the kids for holiday, especially in Christmas. We end up going back home instead, and this has fallen into a routine. I've noticed that each year the kids get less excited as there's not much to do. What places do you suggest us to go as a family?
Oh, there's so many places you can go and have a fantastic kids holiday. It really depends your budget and how old the children are and what you want to do. But I mean, Dubai is a fantastic place for kids. There's yeah, it really is. Yeah, I mean, this time of year when it's not too hot, it's a fantastic place to go. It's really good value for family holidays, and there's all sorts of weird and wonderful things you can do there. I mean, you can go out into the desert and you can go camel riding. You can even go skiing. That'll be fun for kids, isn't it? Yeah, fantastic. And they do these things with four-wheel drives where they go wadi bashing, and so you go racing. Wadi bashing. So you go racing down sand dunes in these four-wheel drives. They're sort of tipping over to one side.
I'd love to do
that. The best theme park in the world. You know, it really is fantastic fun. But I mean, it's not tremendously cheap, so it really depends on your budget and what you want to do. But sometimes it's good just to get the kids together and say, okay, what sort of things you like doing, what do you fancy, and then seeing if you can put.
So imagine why they're getting bored of you for just doing the same thing every year,
right? Yeah, I mean, even if you have fantastic holidays and you do the same thing time and time again, you get bored.
Yeah,
it's too much of a good
especially
thing.
with kids.
Yeah, you need to mix it up a bit and have a bit of variety, definitely.
Okay, ladies, we've run out of time for today. Thank you so much for all the advice.
Thank you for having me.
Very motivational, Jane, as well, and great tips as well from. Just give me the look. Great tips from Linsey as well. All right, so that's it. Thank you, Amelia, as well for the lovely emails. So we will be back again on the next Chrissy B Show. If you do want more information, you can visit this website, chrissybshow.tv. And if you have any questions for our guests as well, all their details will be on the website as well, chrissybshow.tv. So if you want to email anytime as well, if there was a question that you wanted to ask and you didn't get a chance to, you can also email chris@chrissybshow.tv, and I'll make sure I will forward the questions on for you. So that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time on the Chrissy B Show. Bye bye.